Welcome to Wilson Time, Late Night Vibes. This is your host, Steele, with the cast, Mayor Red Redman, and on the ones and the twos, Dirtle.
Dirt, dirt.
It's
Dirt,
hard to say.
dirt.
It's hard to say that smooth because Dirtle's just so harsh.
Yeah. No, it came out smooth, dude. It sounded like you could be a phone sex person.
Perfect. With my side gig.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. Hey, welcome back. Week 5. Took a dive last week. Once again.
Jesus. This is smooth.
Yeah, man. Uh, yeah, I mean, how's everybody feeling tonight? I know I am low vibes, but we're still looking ahead.
Hey, well, at least, yeah, Dylan, at least you're trending up with like the trajectory of your points. As Nut said, I love the 40s now, so it was not looking good. But I said it last night on Gobby Talks. I'm going to say it again today. It's all about the manifestation. I gotta get my boys back on track. So I'm thinking positively. This is the week we get it back on track, and I make those wandering wombats go wandering away.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no, knock them down. I hear you, man. I got the little plants on my head again, trying to get grounded, root myself and go back in my DVFFL roots and really find myself again. Really just,
Yeah.
How to play fantasy football. Maybe get one win. I don't know. How you
Yeah,
feeling,
figure
Daryl?
out the code. I'm tired of losing, if I'm being honest. I want a big win over B Johns this week, and I really hope that Tyreek is the one to beat him down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be juicy. I like to see old Tyreek teach B Johns a lesson, especially if B Johns is wearing that jersey too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
real, just make him burn it.
yeah. B Jones, why don't you send that over here?
Yes. Why don't you ship it on out? No, I felt the same way with Danny Dimes last week, and then I'm like, wait a second, Danny Dimes still sucks, dude. I should have never trusted a G, man. Fucking knew
Uh,
it, man. Oh well.
well, dude, you should never trust Joe Burrow either, brother. Wait, nobody thought that.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. I don't know. Interesting year for myself, especially. But I'm looking at the league, right? And
Perfect.
yeah, oh yeah,
Hey,
that's
at least
great.
he's at least he's number 24. If you check out Joe Burrow, that
Joe
motherfucker
Burr.
is behind Joshua Dobbs and he's behind Desmond.
Yeah.
I always am on GroupMe just shitting on the Bengals because yes, they're a top 3 scoring team the last 2 seasons. There's no reason this should be the case, right? And I always tell you, Dylan, I'm like talking about Desmond Ritter versus Joe Burrow. Well, it was funny. I saw a tweet that was comparing every stat with Desmond Ritter to Joe Burrow, and every single one, Desmond Ritter was higher on each individual stat: passing yards, touchdowns, QB rating, everything. And I was like, motherfucker, dude.
It is sickening. Well, being on the receiving end with Chase there, it's like, dude, I'm right there with you, Red. I'm watching the games with the Bengals each week, and I'm like, what is going on? It feels like we're living this alternate reality. I mean, shit, the Bengals were one of the Super Bowl favorites, and they came and beat the Titans. I mean, they got just destroyed by them. I
Yeah.
mean,
Did you see that interview with Jamar Chase after the game?
oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm
I'm
open. I'm
happy.
always fucking open.
I'm
And I'm
always
like,
fucking open.
hell yeah, brother. Like that.
I
I
know.
need that from T. Higgins, dog.
Yeah, T. Higgins is like, I just cracked my ribs.
Hey, he says he's good to go though, and Joe Burrow says that his calf has felt better than it has all year. It's on
Well,
the up and up.
all I have to say is somebody on that team needs to light a fire under their ass. I mean, I
Those
kind
last
of
two
feel like
weeks right there. Mm-mm.
they're just like
Nummy
walking in the
nummy.
mud. It's like their pud is in the mud. Ah, man, that's the
I
theme
Yeah.
for
think you
me this week.
guys
Pud in the mud.
I think you guys got taught by not paying attention to Joe's injury going into the season.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I was
learn
like,
on.
I thought that they were just resting him, so I was like, he'll be fine when he comes back, It was like 3 weeks of rest, and
Mhm.
I guess that calf is real teachy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we're not doctors, like, and all the people out there are like, it's
I ain't no MD dog, like
yeah, ganglish dog.
yeah,
We ain't no rocket scientists. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about the Bengals anymore. I mean,
true.
we've already beat them to the ground. We already know what
Bam,
it is.
bam. Yeah,
By the
for
way, I
real.
also don't like the way Daniel Jones looks. I'm so glad I dropped him. I
The
mean,
way he talks is just like
He
not
looks
good
like
either.
he's like one chromosome short or something.
yeah, he looks like a Neanderthal.
He
Like,
kind of looks like he kind of looks like he kind of reminds me of like a Toy Story figure or something like that. Like this is what Woody would be like in real life. This is Woody.
that's so true, man. It's so true. Oh, dude, just a knuckle dragger, man. I swear.
Or maybe it's like fucking Andy, Andy's always forgetting shit every time. He's always leaving Woody and his toys behind. He's like an idiot. Like this is what Andy looks like when he grew up and got over Woody. This is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, literally. Um, yeah. Anyways, let's get off the doo-doo players here because it's just making me feel more and more in the mud. So, this last week, a lot of high scores again, but to Nut's point, it wasn't the highest scoring week. So,
Perfect. There we go.
yeah, I mean, might as well be
46.2,
brutal,
baby.
You
Red.
say talking about high scores.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Oh yeah,
This
I had three people basically not play their game. So
Dirtle, do me a favor and pull up the
Yeah.
entire league. I just want to see. I mean, because it just felt like there were so many blowouts this week. There was
no,
not.
that's
Yeah, I
what
think
Gabby and I talked about. Yeah,
yeah,
there was nothing besides like Calvin and Trikes, but like I said, that wasn't like the juiciest matchup of the week there. So
right.
The highest score in a loss was 79 by Nut, and he lost to Jaden 135.
Yeah.
uh,
So what do we think this means? I mean, is this just like one of those weeks where there's really no rhyme or reason? Some teams just blew up, or are we actually starting to see some sort of separation of particular teams? I mean, you think about like Cleaner, right? He scored what I think it's like over 130 points the last 2 weeks now, um,
yeah, yeah, he's guilty.
and he's guilty.
What's
Guilty is
guilty?
charged.
Yeah, because they're cleaning up your mess, boy.
yeah, yeah, get the cleaning. But no, I mean, it's hard to kind of tell, right? Because I do feel like at a certain point in the season, you start seeing the separation between the tiers. And maybe this is just me seeing the glass half full, but like being an 0-4 team, I'm looking at the actual league records and I'm like, okay, there's only two teams that are undefeated. If I get a victory and the rest of these teams are kind of muddled in the middle, I mean, it still feels like everybody's kind of like has a chance. Again, this could just be my perspective, but it doesn't feel like anybody's fully pulling away. I know there's the couple of undefeated teams, but is that indicative of the rest of the league with the tiers? So what do you guys think?
You go first, Dirtle.
I think it was just a weird week. There was just, I mean, I think it does show a little bit of separation, but I don't know. Like, let's look at one of these. Let's look at Scheimer really quick.
Let's
Okay.
take a look at that matchup.
Yeah, Lamar scoring 28. Stephon Diggs 30 points. Like that's not gonna be consistent.
Well, yeah, 3 TDs. You expect some regression for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fluke too. They were playing the where are they playing? Oh, Denver, the
Broncos.
shitbag. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's not gonna happen again. Mark Andrews, 20 points. I mean, if he gets maybe a little less for like good performance, but basically my point is that a lot of these scores are not going to be consistent. So they'll still be good. Like it's still a good team. They still have good players, but I think it was just a weird week.
This is like 2 weeks in a row, kind of, where we've seen these like astronomically high scores. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think that it really is there's a lot of matchup dependency right now. There's a lot of like honestly, and I've learned this the hard way. I dropped Cole Kmet. There's teams that you just start the people against that team. Like if you have somebody going against the Broncos, it doesn't matter who they are. You play them, and
Yeah.
because they're just blowing them out of the water, right? And so there's just like I think it's a lot of matchup dependency, and I don't know. I don't think this is sustainable with the amount of scoring that some teams are doing week in and week out. We saw that with B Johns, right? Like he had a huge game and then falls right back down to earth. I think a lot of these teams will fall back down to earth, kind of like I was talking about with Cleaner's team. And it's not to say that his team's not going to do good. It's just that I don't expect to see 130 plus point games every single week. Nico Collins ain't going for 28 points every week. Stephon Diggs, half of his catches were touchdowns. Same with Mark Andrews. Like, you're going to regress to the mean. There's no way that's five targets, two touchdowns. That is a real high touchdown rate, and you just
Yeah.
aren't going to see that. It's kind of like Achan, right? Dude got 8 carries and had like over 100 yards and two touchdowns again. Like the dude scored a touchdown basically 20% of the time he touched the ball. I don't see that continuing.
Yeah, I agree. When I was watching the games, even I was thinking to myself, because Brian put up, it was at least 10 touchdowns, but I want to say it was 11 before the first halves were over in those first morning games. So there's no way that that's going to be happening week in and week out. Now, do I think that there are some teams that are legit? Like, yes, I do think I was talking about Brian's team being a little more like talking shit when we were at the beginning of this year, but I do believe like he has some solid depth. He's got solid pieces now that have kind of come to fruition, like the whole DeAndre Swift thing.
And we're shit
So,
talkers, so we were talking some shit because now it seems like it's some
yeah, we were talking
sense.
some shit, of course. Yeah, now we have the data. Now we talk
It's not.
sense.
It's not on us, dog. It's not on
Yeah,
us.
no, we're just a bunch of rambling fools. Yeah, so I don't think that there's a huge separation. I do think that the scoring is going to level itself back out. We're going to have more competitive matchups. And it is an interesting thought from you, Red, is that you always think about in fantasy the matchups, but in this year, it just seems like playing those players against those teams that they just have had terrible defenses, and when these guys put up massive fantasy points, it's more important than ever at this point.
Yeah,
And at the
like
same time, it could backfire on you too, like starting Roschon Johnson against the Broncos. But I mean, that could be a different, story because he's not technically a starter. But point is, probably is more of an emphasis on the actual matchups themselves. And I think you kind of see that within the waiver wires too, with people being more willing to spend cash, their fab, to get the matchup for whatever position it may be. The waivers, speaking of which, were very interesting last night.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Fuck you for
I
getting that Jameson Williams.
Yeah, it's a real just just really rubs my pud wrong is that I had him at the draft, and then I'm like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go drop him for I think it was like Sean Tucker, what just dropped on this waiver. So instead of
Hey,
spending
Diz,
$35, it could have had him.
I
Yeah.
want you to do a deep dive real quick. So,
Okay.
I want to see how much Cleaner paid for Tony Jones. So, click on Tony Jones real quick because I know he got him off waivers.
Deep
Post.
dive initiated.
I want to see how much. So, Cleaner got him
Let's
for
see.
$4, right? Cleaner get somebody else for a decent amount for off waivers as well. For I can't
Mm,
remember who it was. I just feel like I've been seeing Cleaner throwing a lot of high
Well,
bids there.
well, go go to the league again, Dirtle,
yep.
and scroll down to the standings. Let's see how much cash he has left now.
$40.
Yeah, 40. So, okay. I just feel like I've been seeing a lot of I was hoping I was gonna make a point here, but it's moot. It's moot now. Sorry, Cleaner. I didn't mean to shit on you
Well,
there.
well,
But
let's talk about it.
it is
Jaleel
55.
McLaughlin, 55.
Yeah, we're paying $55 for a guy that might not even like. He probably took P Ryan's backup spot after last week. He looked really good, right? But P Ryan's signed for a decent amount of money, so I doubt they're not going to play him at all. But we're spending $55 on this guy, and it sounds like Javonte Williams is going to play. Like it sounds like they said he probably won't even miss any time.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to me that there's just so much. Like the one that really panned out was Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
But that one was kind of to be expected because everybody thought Cam Akers was going to be traded. So, but it's kind of interesting to see how much these guys are going for right now. Like people are spending $20 on defenses, man. Like I can't even get a kicker for $0 anymore. I got to put at least a $5 bet in for a
Yeah.
kicker.
Dude, the days of getting waiver bids for $0 is over. I mean, there's a couple you can get in there, but for the most part,
bid on Sam Howell with you, Dylan. Look at that real quick, Diz.
no, dude.
For $6.
Yeah, I know. I thought there would be some others that were going for him, and honestly,
Do you think I was?
yeah, I did. I mean, I thought they would
Assless chaps, brother.
Let's ride. Yeah, no, I thought that there would be some more people that would be going for him. That's why I did it. And honestly, at this point, when you're 0-4, you got to make sure you lock in whatever you think is going to help for your team. So if that means I got to overpay for him, so be it. It's like, what else am I going to do? Like you can't just sit on the sidelines and be conservative about it. Scared money don't make no money.
Fuck Cole Kmet. Fuck that fucker.
Yeah. He went for 17. And that Denver game against the Bears, that's just inflating all those players. I don't like it.
To be honest, hopefully this gets Khalil Herbert going. But yeah, Cole Kmet really pissed me the fuck off. But I don't remember last week I was saying, or I think I was telling you on Sunday, I was like, well, Freiermuth has a shitty game every other week. So I was like, I have to keep him in my lineup this week. Well, guess what? Freiermuth's out because he's literally going to be injured 15 times this year because that's my luck. But I got that Tyler Higbee in there. So let's prove Calvin wrong from last year.
Yeah. Well, you can see I dropped the freak finally.
I didn't even notice that. Oh, man.
I know. I was trying to write him out as best I could. Note was shitting on me in the note report, and that didn't really affect me. It was just the plain facts. Like
you're losing. You're basically just wasting a spot every week.
Yeah, I mean, literally, dude. Treylon Burks was out. Dude, the backup tight end was getting catches out there. Nakeem Westbrook or whatever the hell his name is. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, the only way they run that offense is throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins and then turn around and hand the ball off to King Henry. That's all they do.
Yeah, and it's not even really that effective if we're being honest. DeAndre Hopkins isn't out there doing much.
No. So it's like if you're not getting the target share and they suck that bad already, I just had to finally just tell myself, what am I doing? Am I just holding on to a funny name because I talked him up at the draft? I was like, he's a freak, I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I gotta, we're not playing the game, we're playing fantasy now, so I need to get out of this mindset.
If he was on a different team, I mean, look at that, 3 for 3 for 30. Come on, 10 yards a catch.
I know.
Yeah.
He's
if
good.
He wasn't playing with Ryan Tannehill, you mean? Just like literally.
Ryan Tannehill sucks, man.
He's really bad. He's actually old. He's a lot older too now. I didn't realize how old he was. He sucks and he's old, so I don't know why they don't move on from him.
It's kind of interesting because I remember when he played for the Dolphins, and that seems like forever ago at this point.
Yeah, right. But yeah, waivers were definitely interesting. But let's go to trades because I think that's the trend of the week, right?
Yeah. Let's get into the trade. So there's been a lot of talk about trades this week. Obviously,
this is your trading block.
Oh.
You got to go.
Who?
Okay, hold on, Dirtle. You're all over the place here. Scroll down. Oh, actually,
no, to the right,
no, it's
in
to
the
the
league
right over
chat,
here. It's in
in
the
the
league
league
chat.
chat. Yeah, now
Is
you
it?
got to
It's different on
go.
the desktop. Dirtle, I thought you were on the ones and the twos. You're like on -5 right now.
Oh man.
What's going
There was a
on
way we
here?
looked at it last week that looked
I
better.
know. That's why I'm surprised. No, you got to go back, buddy.
Oh, view all, right there. View all. Bam. And then
Yeah.
trades.
There we go.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah, the
I'm
ones and the
still on the
twos are
ones and
back.
twos.
I don't really know
Redeem.
why.
He's a
Why do they make
redeemer.
it? Why does Sleeper make it so weird on the desktop? I don't understand.
It
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
know.
Like Gabi and I did last night. We're petitioning. Nobody messages on Sleeper because Sleeper is great for following games and like the game track. But I'm so over trying to find anything out on Sleeper. It's so like I don't know if it's because it's like dark in the background and it's like I don't know if I can find things properly. It takes me forever nowadays.
You know what I noticed, and it was after you guys' Gobby Talks I watched this morning. I went into the DMs on my Sleeper app there, and I don't understand how it sorts out the message threads. It's like I have like all these random people from different leagues in the past that are like floating up top, and then I have if somebody sends me a DM, it's like sliding below that. I'm like, why don't they just do it the normal way where whatever's new is up top?
Yeah,
It makes
and
no
Nut's
sense.
gonna tell us because he works for Sleeper, right? You can be like, oh, you could change the features and the settings, blah blah blah. No, I don't want to have to do that. Like, I don't want to have to go in here. I want you guys to make it more functional for me right off the bat. I don't want to have to go in there and mess with my settings, right? I want it to
You
be
know what it
easy.
is? You know what it is? It's Darth Nuttius trying to confuse all of us and
Yeah.
make it harder for us to trade.
I think you know what I really think? I feel like Sleeper is made by people who use Android phones because
Yeah.
this isn't as simple. Like, Cal will love this. It's not that Apple product where it's just right in your face, right? This is like intricate. Like it's like, ooh, you got to go through this avenue to get to this avenue, and I don't like that so much. I like to be in a pool. I don't want to be in a river. Okay, I'm not like
It
I don't
is.
want to be in a lake.
It is a very much an Apple user statement to be like, I don't want to touch my settings.
Hell
Are
yeah,
you crazy?
yeah, I don't want
Well,
it.
to an
Like,
extent. I mean, this is like overkill. But anyways, let's move on past Sleeper. We do love Sleeper still, so don't fire
yeah,
us.
it's still better than ESPN now for sure.
You
So
were
let's
making
talk.
deals with the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, no cookies.
No cookies.
Yeah, where's
Um,
Steven this year with all the cookies? I want him to buy a new mascot and such.
well, there's no mascots anymore. Sleeper got rid of
Oh yeah.
them.
What's the point of the cookies?
I don't know, dude. That's another Sleeper mystery.
You just
Okay.
invest in cookies and leave them
They're
there.
just you buy make believe cookies
You're
and
just
Sleeper
paying
is
Sleeper
collecting.
basically.
It's like
That's
buying
it.
Dogecoin. Maybe it goes up.
Like, I don't know what this is, but it's cool, I guess. I'm part of the
Yeah,
club.
I got a lot of
Well,
it.
was this the first trade, Dirtle? The one we're looking at right now?
No.
Keep going, keep going. I feel like there's a.
This is the first one from yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on, Dirtle. Come on back down there. You
No, we
don't
can
skip
start with this
over.
one.
Oh, we ain't starting with that one, buddy. You need to get on down there.
Okay.
This
Show
seems like
us
a
the
pretty
full
fair
trade.
trade.
Let's just make sure that we're not missing one before that. Is there anything else?
Yeah, Gibby.
This was just for draft cash. This was like what
Yeah,
the
that's a
Cubs had.
whatever
$1.
one. It's $1. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It's whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Jesse
All
got
right.
him because he has Brian Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. So, let's begin. Dirtle,
Oh,
I just
You
want
look,
to
you look
know.
sunburned as shit in that picture for some
I
reason.
was sunburned as shit.
All right.
Before we completely shit on you, I want to know your thoughts first, Dirtle, about this trade. We'll let you actually take the floor first so you can have your defense, and then we'll start the shitting on.
Okay, it's very reminiscent of last year where I had to come on a show and be like, "This is why I did this," and then I was right, anyways. Here was my thing. Well, there's a two-parter to it. One, Like, yeah, I overpaid for him, but Trone overvalues his players, so I was like, fuck it, just give him to me. I do think
Not
Cam
helping your
Akers.
case.
I do
Yeah.
think I do think Cam Akers is going to take Madison's job, and I liked the prospect of it because I was betting against Dill's team,
Oh
and
no.
yeah, so those were my reasons. And hold on. Let me pull up Cameron.
All right,
Please
yeah.
do. Please do.
All right, check this guy out, dude.
Look, he's still wearing a Rams jersey.
That's all right, dude. First game in, goes 5 for 40 yards. I'll fucking take
Yeah.
it. He's building.
Sure.
I just think okay.
Four is yours, Red.
So this reminds me of the whole why Sam Laporta is going to be good thing. It's because he's good. Uh,
He is good.
it's,
He had a good week.
I know, but it's just like the reasoning behind it is like there has to be more. It has to be more fruitful for me. Okay, so I get it. Like there's a strong chance that he could eat into Madison's like touches for sure. However, I don't think they're just going to give it up to him. So unless Cam Akers is doing what Achan's doing week in and week out, I feel like it's probably going to stay 65% snap count Alexander Madison, 35% right Cam Akers. So you paying $12 for a guy that's not going to be a like an RB2. So
Yeah,
I don't like the fact that you said Trone overvalues his players. So you say, fuck it, I'll buy it from him. This is my point last night about Trone and how he does overvalue his players. And so it's hard to trade with them. And the reason why I think Trone gets successful sometimes is because of situations like they're like, fuck it, like whatever. And Trone's like, oh, see, I don't really overvalue my players. People like them. Like, and so that one's tough for me. And also, I am you never the whole thing of being like, oh well, Dill's team. Like I wanted to like shit on Dill's team. I don't like the personal things that go into that because it's like I never want to trade for a player just to screw over somebody else. Thug
oh, I
used to
just thought
do
it was
that.
funny.
Thug used to do that on waivers. He used to just pick up like four defenses because he had somebody that he was playing against that didn't have a good defense that week. So he would be like, I want to screw him over and I'll do my own team like injustice by doing this. And it's like, why? You just
Didn't he
fucking
have
do
three
it because
championships?
well, if you want to talk about a couple of those, there's a lot of trade raping in there where there was a couple times, and I think everybody will back me up on this, that there were some trades that very much benefited Gare going in throughout those seasons.
That's fine.
Right. So on top of that, you can throw the personal thing in there all you want. Thing is, it's not like Cam Akers is like, I'm going to screw over Dill's team, so I'm going to take the job from Madison. Dude's actually got to go out there and teach. Like, it has literally nothing to do with me, so I really don't care.
Well, the reason that's a motivator was because, well, one, watching football with you on Sundays and just seeing the pain happen, but your
there was
reaction after Cam Akers got traded to the Vikings, I was like, I want a piece of that.
Sure, but
See, a Raider fan's throwing the pot.
to throw, it still doesn't matter. You want a piece of it, but you also were detrimental to yourself by overpaying for a guy that you don't even know. Well, I
I don't think
mean,
so. I literally just liquidated him off Trone.
okay,
I
let me
didn't I
finish my
didn't give him a
points before
player.
you say anything
Okay.
else. Let me finish my points before you say anything else. I gave you your time for your defense. It's yeah, dude. It's time to get shut down, all right? So
go to the small box.
yeah, get to
Yeah.
your small box, get to your cage. No, okay. So part of the problem is, Dirtle, and I want to talk about this after we get through these trades, but like the value of a dollar, right? And Red and Gobby were talking about this on Gobby Talks, but I do think that certain trades, and especially when it's early on in the year, have a huge influence on how people value the draft dollars, and it sets the tone for the market for players going forward. So, by you paying $12 for a guy that not only did you shit on the night before, but everybody else has been shitting on, now it's like, okay, if and throw Tron out of it, but if you just go player A, who nobody really likes and he hasn't really done anything, is going for this amount, what could I get for my player that is actually doing something? And so now it's elevated the price on all these players when if this didn't happen, I'm not saying that this one trade alone has caused this or anything, but it doesn't help the case in that sense.
No, it's an influx of these things, you know,
Right.
the buying of backups for draft cash instead of fab nowadays, right? Like, yes, is there is like a it's almost as if it's like inflating the price of every player. And draft cash isn't the sweetener anymore. It's like the fucking staple.
Yeah, it has to be in there or the trade's not going to happen. I mean, every single trade that I've seen come through my sleeper has had some sort of form of draft cash in it, which kind of sucks because it takes away from the traditional trading aspect of it. Like, whatever happened to the days of just trading players for players. But now it's like you came and, if I were to, like, say, trade Jamar Chase, I can't just trade him for players anymore because everybody wants to give me the most dog shit players they got. And I'm not saying that's like necessarily exactly happening, but that's like most of the time. It's like, let me give you these lower tier players and I'll just throw a bunch of cash at you because I don't really care about the cash now. I mean, that's how it kind
Mhm.
of feels, It's like there's no more just like, okay, top tier player, I'll get a couple mid tiers. It's like, nope, I'm gonna give you the bottom of the barrel and all this draft cash. Again, not saying it's happening all the time with every single offer, but it just seems like that's happened a lot more. All right, second point, Dirtle.
Oh, that was
Can
just
I
the
can I
first
re-
point.
can I respond
Damn,
to that point?
I was like, damn.
I have one thing to say to that. You being a team that needs to make trades, get taught.
Second point, Dirtle. I asked Trone, I was like, man, how did you get $12 out of him? And Trone's like, he's like, I didn't even say a word. And I'm like, really? I'm like, did he throw any cash offers out for any of your other running backs, like A-Chain or Charbonnet or Warren? He's like, nope, did not get a single offer from any one of those. He just wanted Cam Akers. I'm like, what? Like, you talking
Dude,
about
I
the
just have
guy
a
that just
feeling.
scored like 4 touchdowns and like 100 whatever some yards? And you didn't even entertain that. You just went straight in for Cam Akers after you just shit on him completely the night before. So it just for a team that needed the depth and everything, I felt like you could have just went out and if you're gonna throw $12 out, you could have probably got something better. And who knows, man? Maybe Cam Akers does do something. But at the end of the
That's a
day,
big if.
it's a big if. I mean, like even if he starts teaching, it's probably more of a timeshare. It's not going to be like he's just okay. They paid Madison and stuff. Like they're not going to just be like, all right, dude, you're done. Get on the bench. You're never seeing the field again. So, plus also the dude blew his Achilles out. I mean, just like a year and a half ago. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
like,
essentially, you didn't, I honestly think that maybe, yeah, and what it sounds like, maybe you didn't think it through too much. Maybe you should have started at a lower price with Cam
I'm
Akers.
pretty sure Trone was the one that said 12 to me.
yeah,
Is
but
that what tell me, just, I mean, I'm asking, it's already
No,
done, but
he started at 15 and I said 10 and then we met in the middle.
damn, okay, literally proves my point right there. I told on Gabi Talks last night, everything fucking is literally starts at 15 draft dollars. Everything. Everybody starts out at 15 fucking draft dollars. Like Devontae Adams, everybody that's asked me immediately, like, I'll give you this player and 15 draft dollars. I'm like, what the fuck is this 15? Like, why is that's the precedent? That's what draft dollars, like, that's what it is like the minimum you start off with is a $15. Like, what the fuck happened to just being like, here, a couple bucks or fucking, I don't know. It's like everything's 15.
yeah, it is funny that I keep starting off with that. All right, last point on this, and then we'll move on.
Jesus.
But it was just funny to me too how you were shitting on him. We were all shitting on him, right? And if you take a step back and you look at it, okay, he got the first shot of the Rams as the bell cow back, and they have a better offensive line than the Vikings do. But the dude, it was like, yeah, there you go, 22 carries for 29 yards, averaging 1.32 yards per carry. And then after that, they immediately dish him out. So the fact that you spent $12 on him again, I don't know.
So
So
how much? So this is what I was saying with. Okay, so how much was Cam Akers drafted for?
$5.
no way. 26.
$26. Okay,
26,
so
yeah.
essentially this is what I was telling Bobby. This is how I look at it, is that, like I said, Cooper Kupp is essentially valued at $71 this year because he was drafted for 37, paid 34. So we're saying like a $71 value for Cooper Kupp. We're basically right now we have Cam Akers, who got booted off his first team, went to another team that's really pass heavy, and we're valuing him at $38. That's where I'm under. Not,
I
that's where I'm
actually
not
don't.
understanding the price of where the price point is, because it's like, man, like $38 for a guy. You're thinking somebody juicy.
You know what I was just thinking about just now where you're saying that? You could even look at it towards like a future aspect, right? So $12. What could $12 do for you in your draft next year? Could that be the difference between getting a Christian McCaffrey and or like a I don't know, Kenneth Walker or something like that? It's I don't know, just a thought just kind of came to my head. I don't really know how to
Yeah.
expand on it anymore, but I mean that's just something to think about. It's like people are starting to get so loose with the draft cash. It's like, well, what's that going to do for your draft next year? Obviously, losing money it makes it harder, but I just mean how you're valuing the players right now. It seems like it's so skewed, but then when we get to the actual draft time, everybody's really conservative with their cash. But during the season, like during this season especially, because before it's always been handful of people are willing just to toss out that cash. But now it's like everybody just doesn't give a shit. I'll give you cash for anything at this point.
What this reminds me of, and you guys are all gonna hate it. We're playing baseball. We're playing baseball. You want
Yeah.
to know why I say that? Is because MLB, no salary cap. They'll just fucking eat contracts throughout the year as long as they win the ship, right? And that's what we're doing. Like, we're just paying draft cash every single time, offer and offer and offer, and we're not doing player for players anymore, right? In the NFL, NBA, things like that, NBA, you have luxury tax. You can't be going over a threshold. You're talking about NFL, you have a salary cap. You can't just be going over that salary cap. So it's just interesting. We're playing baseball. We're just being like, fuck how much this costs. Bring that bitch over here, and as long as I win the ship, that's all that matters. Like, but the next year, guess what? We'll just pay some fucking fat luxury tax or fine or whatever, and we'll just start out next year with a little bit less cash. But we're playing baseball. Nobody even realizes it, but we are.
Yeah. No, I agree. Enough
All
of
right,
this trade.
more trades.
Yeah, let's get on past this one.
But
Yeah,
I
let's
like that
fucking move
because
on.
because we shit on Diz, but it also plays into kind of some of the other trades that have happened. So we probably won't have
Yeah.
to talk so much about the other trades.
Perfect.
Thank you for being our guinea pig, Diz.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
Yeah,
though,
you're
bud,
welcome.
So
Yeah, it's all right. I will say, just for the fun of it, right after me and Trevor did that trade, I was in our living room with him, and I looked at him and I said that might have been a mistake.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Troy's like, another win for me.
Okay, well, this would be the first one then. The
okay,
Wombats.
so yeah,
And this one, I like this one. This one makes sense to me.
you want to lead it off, Red?
Yeah, I would say because this was also what 15 was it 15 to Cal?
I'll look that up, but you go and just talk.
Okay, so I like this one because Romeo Dubs, for one, is obviously Christian Watson hasn't played that much, but he is the lead wide receiver for that team, and Jordan Love has a good connection with him, so he's been playing really well. I like Dubs ceiling over DeAndre Hopkins, especially with him playing with Tannehill. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously a much bigger upgrade than Najee Harris here, and Najee could potentially lose his job to Jalen Warren at the end of the year, or by the end of the year. So I get this trade. This makes sense. And how much was it for draft cash?
15.
Fucking 15, dude.
15, dude.
15's back.
15.
It's
It's
back
like
again.
it's like that movie 23 with Jim Carrey, man. Everything's 15. Where's the 15s
Yeah.
at, you know? It's like 47 for all you fuckers, right? 47, 47. It's 15. But
It's
yeah,
15.
I
Man.
get I get COD paying the money because I think this is an upgrade. Even though people will be like DeAndre Hopkins, Romeo Dubs, I think Dubs has a better season than Hopkins, honestly. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a huge upgrade from Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Just a much better offense, right? Like Najee Harris might get the same amount of carries as Gibbs by the end of the year, but Gibbs is in such a better position to have a better fantasy season.
No, 100% agree with you on this. I like the trade. It made sense for both teams. I'm at this point, you got to take Dubs seriously, and DeAndre Hopkins isn't. I mean, he's getting the target, so maybe that pans out with the production there. But yeah, Najee is putting up more points right now, but Gibbs, like if COD has the ability to take on that risk, the gamble of waiting it out and see how if Gibbs can actually live up to that potential, then it makes sense. And then the $15 draft cash, I mean, Cal had to recuperate some of that cash after the Cooper
Scramble.
Kupp trade.
Scramble.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's like I'm in the same boat as Cal, and I know from talking with him and stuff, like, and maybe he'll probably disagree with this because I'm sure he's like, I'm cool as a cucumber right now, but we're like just trying to find the answers. It's like, I mean, you just almost have to make a trade and just see something go through, and you just got to see something different on your team because when you're watching the same thing happen and you're losing week in and week out, it's just like you're looking for some moral victories.
True.
But
You
yeah, I
know,
thought
can
the
I
trade
make a
was fun.
comment?
Yeah,
I think like player to player, or comparing the players, fair trade. But in Cal's situation, I feel like he needed to go for something bigger trading these away because he's already looking to get better players, and then I think that he just got worse players. So
it's true.
I honestly
yeah,
think that like this is what Cal's doing, and I already know it, and he doesn't want to admit it. He's scrambling. He's making his money back, and he's doing what you're supposed to do. This is what I did when I don't want to say tanked, but I basically sold the farm that one year. Was remember I gave DK Metcalf off the Gare, and he gave me draft cash back. But I said, hey man, I was like, I'll take a little bit less draft cash, but give me back T Higgins, and so that's how I got T Higgins. And this is what you do, right? You don't want to make yourself fucking go to the Sacco, but you want to make little bits of money while being able to bring back players that at least are salvageable of your year. Like
Yeah,
he knows those guys aren't going to put up what probably Dubs and Gibbs will do. But hey, I'll take a little less draft cash, but I'll make it so I don't want to end up being in the Sacco the next, later this year.
yeah, you got to find that balance,
Sure.
in it, because
So
yeah, no. So I think we're all on the same page. The trade makes
so
sense for both sides.
with that mindset, Red, are you thinking that Cal thinks he's gonna miss the playoffs?
oh yeah, 100%. But like it
Do
all
you think he'd
depends.
ever admit it?
It all depends on the Cooper Cup thing. But like I said, you gotta really, really think that Cooper Cup is gonna move the needle for you. Like he really has to think that Cooper Cup is gonna come in and just be the Cooper Cup that was, 2 years ago or some sort. But the reality of the fact is he's an injured boy that is older now, and I'm like, it's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna move the needle enough. So yeah, I think this is him looking at the outside in, being like, I might have a chance at the 8 seed, but I'm more than likely probably not gonna be making the playoffs.
Yeah,
We're gonna get some vicious text messages tomorrow morning.
there also is
That's fine.
there's also the idea again where Cal's trying to get that money back so he could turn around and spend it on somebody else. So
True, but
Yeah,
now he has. But like, what are the assets he has here now? Like, I don't know who. Nobody wants to touch Najee.
yeah.
well, it's the
Let's go
problem too
see.
is again the the market is inflated, and so to be able to, I don't know, like the players that are going for that, like a good amount of cash and stuff, they're not even like the needle movers that you're talking about, Red.
No.
Yeah, the
What are
assets that he would have to like that would be of interest to people are CeeDee Lamb and Bijan.
Bijan, but you can't get rid of
So
him if you're trying to compete. Like, what are you gonna? Where's the upgrade, right? Like,
yeah, same
Adrian,
same argument for CD, unless you just
yeah,
want to, I don't know, get two mid-tier players for him.
yeah.
But that's not really happening. Again,
Right.
there's not really the mid. It's all about the cash right now. Cash is king.
Mm-hmm.
That is Dark Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, go.
I'm
Get off
Yeah.
that.
This is
No, I want.
gravitating over. He's like,
I know,
"Ooh."
dude. It's like we turn to the Raider talk show every damn week.
I
I
don't want to talk
swear.
about the Raiders.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
get
Let's
off
go.
this. Go back to
What's
the
the next?
trades.
Yeah, let's speed this bit. We're getting into that
I
rambling
know.
stage
See, we're
again.
always rambling. Like we come in, we're like, okay, we're gonna wing it, and then we end up just rambling for years.
Okay, we're moving on. What am I looking
Okay.
at here?
You go to trades.
Yeah.
Still,
All right, so
Ones and twos.
let's go through these fat. Okay, so Elijah Mitchell, right? I touched base on it yesterday. $4 was a
yeah.
lot for Elijah Mitchell, but I get the reasoning. I just don't understand why we're spending so much on
Right.
handcuffs, right? Like, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would have been much more fine with this if it was Fab or $1.
Right,
That's my
like that
take.
makes sense, right? $1, like I don't know, like
I would do
so
$1,
weird.
or I'd give some Fab. Like if he was on the waivers, I would do that.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got to say about that trade.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
I've talked too much about buying backup running backs. Yeah, let's go to Dill working with the Dark Lord.
And you got $10
or
for
Darth
this, right,
Nuttius.
Dylan?
Yeah, so I got $10 for it.
So I know why Dylan did this because Zay Flowers keeper value, and
Yep.
he's fun to watch too. But yeah,
Yeah, so I'll cruise through it because I don't need to sit here and defend it until I'm blue in the face. So, I actually like Amari Cooper. He's got a great schedule going forward. I know he's going to put up more points than Zay, but kind of like you were just talking about earlier, Red, you got to start selling off little pieces. Nut was talking about too. Just got to start collecting some cash, but you want to get a player back that has the potential to do something for you and provide value. And so look at Zay Flowers. I think about rookie wide receivers. They typically come on second half of the year. So I'm just kind of betting on the fact that he's going to, be better than what he is right now by that time. And yeah, the keeper value
cool.
be what? I think it's $18 next year.
Woohoo!
Yay, dude! I love waiting for next year. It's so foreign. Like I've done it before, but I mean, I hate it, man. It's like I want to buy. I don't want to sell.
So how much was the draft cash for this?
20.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it
I don't
either.
I don't like it. This is Dark Nuttiest. I don't even know. I want to feel like it's probably Scheimer that initiated
I think it was
this.
Brian, dude. I think it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But man, it's just like that thing I was saying with COD yesterday. Is like, it's like playing that devil's advocate, man. Like, I feel like they want us to talk about this. Like, why? Why would you go get Saquon? I get it. He's a better player than Dameon Pierce. But have we not watched the two offenses play? Saquon is on a doo-doo team, and Dameon Pierce's offense with CJ Stroud is way better. Like, they've looked way better. And I just don't get it. I don't get it why we're paying $20 to get rid of a good value running back that you already have for, a guy with better potential, but like his team limits his ceiling.
Yeah, agreed, man. I mean, they don't have any wide receivers on the Giants, and so what they're doing right now is just stacking the box, and not to mention that offensive line is awful. So good luck to Saquon. I love Saquon as a player. He's got crazy talent, but he's also been injured multiple times in his career. He's injured right now. you mix it in with all those other factors, I don't really see the point of getting rid of a guy that, yes, talent-wise is a lower level than him, but he's playing for a better offense right now. And the Houston Texans have also been missing their two best offensive linemen who are about to be coming back. So if CJ Stroud keeps doing what he's doing, they're going to have to respect what he's doing with Nico, Tank. It's going to open up more lanes for Pierce. So I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why. I kind of just feel like, Brian's playing the homer role right now. Just wants a giant on his team. That's the only giant really worth owning.
It's tough. I just the $20 is high. I don't mind it like if he does like what $5, $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just way too much. But
And it's also kind of one of those trades where, yeah, maybe you don't really like it because of the draft cash. The goddamn draft cash coming into play again. But at the same time, Brian's pretty deep. Like, Brian's got some depth on his team, and he doesn't necessarily have to rely on Saquon as much as others would have to. So if Saquon does pan out and gets back to being that hog level, then okay, well, it just makes him way more dangerous. It's just such a big.
It's interesting to me because I feel like Scheimer could use more wide receiver, like a hog wide receiver, right? I felt like he was good right there at running back. Like you had 3 to 4 pieces you can rotate in and out with the matchups, but the wide receiver after Stephon Diggs, and then are you trusting DJ Moore at this point? Because I don't think he is because he's throwing him on the trading block every week. So it's like I felt like he could have leveraged one of those running backs for maybe a more like a safer wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1, right, to go along with Diggs.
Oh, 100%, man. I think that if he were to have shopped him around and you could have paired up like Dameon Pierce with one of these kind of, more suspect wide receivers and probably got a hog wide receiver. I mean, but
For
I'm
sure.
telling you, okay, so those are the trades of the week, right? And we'll get into the weekly picks here in a second. Kind of final thoughts. I just want to touch on to the draft cash again and just talk about, because there was a lot of talk about trade etiquette and just like the nature of trades nowadays, how people feel about it. I wanted to speak a little bit about, I know you and Gobby talked about it, Red, but I get where Nut's coming from as far as shopping around the player or like, hey, or the deal that you already have on hand. I don't see what the problem really is with that because I feel like you want to maximize the value that you're getting for whatever assets you're trading. And so by telling somebody, hey, I'm getting a tier 2 running back, a tier 2 wide receiver, and some draft cash, is there something else you can do? Like, why wouldn't you do that? I know there's like a moral code. I mean, you can have a moral code and all that, but you don't have to throw in the other person's name. When I've done it, I don't even tell people the actual players that I'm looking at getting from somebody else. It's more I give like a general range, and then whoever I'm talking to, if they want to do something with that, great. If they don't, okay. But I mean, there's always been these times before where a trade goes through, and then somebody will hit you up, and they'll be like, "Man, if I would have known that you were about to deal them out like that, I would have given you so much more." So why would shut the door for the opportunity to be able to get more then at that point? Why not try to collect as much as you can? I mean, that's what you're trying to do, right? At the end of the day, yes, the etiquette is both teams should be benefiting from it. But if the person's reaching out to you and you feel like you're already benefiting from it, and especially by shopping around, like the other person should be feeling like they're benefiting from it too. So I don't really get like what the big deal is about shopping the players. I mean, I think it's fine. Leave names out of it. That's probably the one thing I would say. There's no reason to be doing all that.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like in the situation that's talking about is if like you've agreed on the trade, right? Or like set in principle, like yeah, I like this trade, and then you don't hear from that person for like a day or two, right? Like that'd be annoying. If somebody was like, "Yeah, I like this trade. This sounds like a good deal to me," and then you don't hear a response from them for like 12
Yeah.
hours, you're like, "What the fuck?" Like so because you know you get that you want that gratification, like it's going to be done. But I get it. But yeah, no, shopping around is something that I think is a lot of us are in industries in real life where that's kind of what
What do you do?
what goes on. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, agreed. And then lastly, and I know we were talking about it, but already throughout the trades, I just want to ask the question to you guys. Do you guys feel the same that I feel about the draft cash this year? That, so like my feeling is that it's inflated, it's being used more loosely, and a lot of people, that's like their main focus when it comes to moving the needle in a trade. Do you guys feel similar? Do you feel indifferent about it?
What do you think, Diz?
Um,
This is your second
well,
year, so you like you saw last year and this year, so you have a smaller scope. But what do you think?
yeah, I feel like the draft cash is good to go. I mean, obviously, I just threw $12 on Cam Akers, so I feel like it's not as detrimental to do it as it might seem. Now, if you're doing what Cal's doing, like just $35 Cooper Cup, it will fuck up your season next year. But I think the idea is that like the Cam Akers thing, yeah, I'm down $12. I'm sure at some point in the season I'll sell one of my players and do something like that. So I feel like
Yeah,
it's a living, breathing economy.
yeah. I think my thoughts on it, and I get that because right, like I think Gabi did it at the beginning of the year where he got some draft cash and then he bought another, and then he went out and traded and got another player and spent a little bit of his draft cash, but like he was still up. So I get that. My biggest thing is, yeah, like, from the year that we started with the draft cash, I remember the first year nobody was trading the draft cash, and I don't know if we even allowed it at that point, right? Like I don't think it was like talked about. And then the first year that we were started really trading draft cash, it was like it made sense. It was like, okay, you know, we were talking like $20 was like boom, like astronomical. And now last year, I think that one with Cleaner really just kind of set the tone where it was like Travis Kelsey, boom, and then it was like Mike Evans, boom. And, you know, this year now it's Cooper Cup, right? Uh, but I don't understand people asking for oodles of draft cash for backups. Like, couldn't you like I don't get that. I don't get that. It really inflates everything else around us because if Cam Akers is going for 12 and Elijah Mitchell's going for 4 and backup QBs are being asked for, you know, over, you know, close to 10 draft dollars, right? Like what's the value of an actual like really good asset? Like how are you
Right.
supposed to determine that? So it is hard. I get people can do whatever the hell they want with their draft cash. I guess I guess like I just don't know where the value is anymore, and I feel like sooner or later it'll be like the market will like crash or something like that, and the next thing you know, like
Yeah.
people won't even be spending it because next year they'll be like, well, fucking last year was a big shit show for me because now I have you know a lot less people have more money or around the $200 range than last year.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, I kind of think that maybe as we've gone along with auctions, and we've evolved from the snake draft, and we got the with the draft cash being traded now. There's in the keepers. There's these growing ideas and like changing of strategies, and so I get why we kind of got to this point where everybody's spending money like it's nothing. But to your point there, Red, it does make like evaluating players and their actual value very difficult. So, for instance, if I'm seeing Cam Akers go for $12, what do you think that's going to do to a player that probably will have to sell off their team at some point? I'll ask for the moon for one of my guys now because the way I see it is Like if you're going for Montgomery, for instance, yeah, you better pay up a pretty penny because if Cam Akers is going for $12 and David Montgomery's the number 7 overall running back, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. So I mean, it kind of it makes things swing so hard, and I do think there will probably be a crash at some point. And I wonder if there's going to be. I'm just kind of have a feeling that going into next year, with the cash just being floated around like that, there's going to be some more stratification of teams that have a bunch of cash and teams that don't have a lot of cash or falling below that 200 mark. Because in the years past, you've had a couple of teams that have maxed out their cash, and then you had a couple of teams that didn't really have a lot. I feel like this year it's almost going to be like a half and half sort of thing, where half the teams in the league have cash above that 200, and then there's going to be half that are sitting down below. So I just don't know how it's going to affect the next year after that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
granted. I mean, people are gonna reset, and maybe this is just like the new way, right? Maybe we just keep going through this year in and year out. But I do think there will be a crashing point at some point.
I think it's very interesting though that it's now like an economy. Like it's literally like
Yeah.
you just said, it's like a breathing economy. Like it's always like ever changing, right? It's very interesting to me. And maybe I'm just sitting over here sounding like the fucking negative Nancy because I don't got the fucking assets like other people do, where people are paying $4 for fucking this dude and $2 for this dude, and I'm nobody's asking me to buy my players for $2. Like fucking what the fuck? Like so maybe there's a little bias in it, but at the same time, I think everybody can agree that yes, I don't think anybody in here could tell us what the value of a draft dollar is right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think at this point it's so murky, nobody can really tell. So that's why you just kind of throw some out there. You're either going to pay too much, or the too little part, you're not going to get something done.
Mm-hmm.
And then for again, I think this is just my perspective on it, and like trying to keep the bias out of it, but it does make it very hard to actually build up your team, because if you don't have a lot of assets, but say you got the one or two juicy assets and you're trying to trade them off just to get an accumulation of players, nobody wants to do that. The long gone are the days of being able to liquidate a hog and get multiple mid-tier players. It's I either just want to give you a one player that could have some value, and I'll just throw a shit ton of cash at you. And then it's like, well, no, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather get some players. Nope, it's got to be cash in there. It's like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to be at a standstill. Or, you get to the breaking point, and which could happen and that's where you saw it before.
Fucking bureaucrats, man. The
Where it got
bureaucrats.
to the trade deadline, and it's like, okay, this person's going to sell off. We're at the trade deadline, so now's the time to do it. But it's happening like shit, man. I was having it happen after the first week. It's like, so it's just crazy how it's all changed.
Should we move along? We're an hour and 3 minutes in already.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
we're
brother.
done with that.
All right.
So let's go ahead and run through the weekly matchups,
Cool.
and
Pull
we'll
'em
keep it
up.
short and sweet. No, I think this is it's good to talk about dynamics of the league. Of course, again, we're just rambling, and so who knows if we're talking shit or talking sense. But it's like when I listen to Gobby talks, right? I like hearing different people come in, and then it's not just analyzing what happened that week and everything. It's more so talking about different dynamics of the league itself outside of just like the players and all that, because it gets you thinking about things, and like the strategies, right? Or
And I like thinking.
yeah, I like to think.
My brain feels good.
So
All right, let's
I guess with these matchups, we'll just fucking just zing on through these.
get it going. We got me versus B Johns, tendon tears and pussy hairs.
All right, you go ahead,
Right.
Red.
You want me to start? Okay, I got it. Let me pull it up on my end too. All right, so I enjoy B John just coming back down to earth, but Diz, man, last 2 weeks have been tough, and you got tough matchups this week. Tough.
Yeah, dude, all of my players decided they're done scoring touchdowns. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm also playing Cam Akers this week, so we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Um,
Time to put your
I
money
still
where your mouth is, bud.
Hell yeah, brother.
I still think you pull this one out though this week. So I'm going Diz, even with the tough matchups.
Yeah, you,
You
you
know,
said that last week, Red, and then I lost by 60.
well, guess what? But don't prove me fucking wrong again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you
Um,
stop picking my team here pretty soon.
no, you're gonna keep getting it. Uh, I just think Tyreek Hill will kind of he'll go back to form. Tony Pollard, they're gonna have to run the ball. They're gonna have to run the ball. The Cowboys will. That passing defense is super juicy for the
Hmm.
49ers. So I think that you'll just have a couple hogs go off, and I think B. John's team just won't have enough. They won't have enough points to put out. So Mostert's back being Mostert.
Yeah,
Perfect.
there you go,
All right.
Drew. Congrats on
Perfect.
your
Thanks,
All right,
win.
cool.
guys.
Just like I'm winning.
Hell yeah. All right. We got Sun and Suns versus Clean Machine.
Yeah, this one, it's so weird because a couple weeks ago I would be like, oh yeah, this is an easy nut victory. But Cleaner is really showing out right now, and
Hmm.
I'm trying to like figure out where it's coming from. I mean, I know where it's coming from, but it's just weird that all of a sudden some of these players just blew up.
Nuts playing Joshua Dobbs too. Herbert's on bye.
Yeah,
Yeah, but are we looking at Cleaner's running backs here? Like,
I know. That's what I'm looking at.
Smiles.
I'm looking at Kamara against Jaleel. I'm looking at Piercer versus Sanders, and he's not making me smile. But
Yeah.
then you look down at Nut there on his flex, Tajay Spears against that Nico Collins. This is gonna be a sneaky close matchup. I don't believe Cleaner is gonna go off again. Obviously, he's missing Kenneth Walker, Godwin. So I'm gonna lean towards Nut though. I don't feel like Dobbs has been serviceable, and then you go look
this
at like
man,
his
this man's good.
Yeah. I hear he's a good player.
yeah.
He's athletic.
High analysis here. He's
Yeah,
good.
he looks like a child version of Big Ben.
Yeah,
He's an
but also look at him.
athlete.
Look, he's tall too. He's 6'3", just like Okonkwo.
Yeah, he's a
The
freak.
He's a
freak.
he's a freak.
Yeah, I think just this week, Nuts got more of his hogs rolling out there. I'm gonna go with him.
All
I
right,
think Nut gets back on the gravy train.
gravy
Alrighty.
train. All right, what's the next one
Next
here?
up, we got the Crying Wombats versus Anal Inc. Oh,
All
hold
right.
on, that's wrong.
All right, no, that's you got me.
Where
Yeah,
am I?
him versus me this week.
Yeah, I got you. All right, I'll take the
There we
wings
go.
on it here.
My bad.
I
The ones
mean,
and the twos.
yeah, there's dirt on ones and twos.
Ones and twos, baby.
I don't know, man. You guys have been like the scoring between y'all. I mean, I
It's gonna
can't
be a
say
bar
shit.
burner, brother.
Yeah, this is my only time to actually talk shit, and you guys just been pooing the bed.
The matchup though that I think is gonna win it for you, Red, is Aaron Jones playing the Raiders.
Hell yeah. Give it.
Gonna teach him a
Gimme, gimme.
lesson.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, Red, you got the better players. Just can they do anything?
You're right.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right?
It
It's like,
sounds good in theory.
dude, you have all these big names on there, but they haven't done shit. I mean, kind of the same thing for Cal, right? It's like you got some big names for the most part. I'm gonna go with you, Red. Cal's gonna shit on me, but I don't
That's
care.
fine.
But yeah, it's
That's fine. I'm
fine.
keeping the faith this week.
And honestly, too, I kind of want Cal to lose because just in case I lose, I need to be down in the mud with me. Like,
How shitty would it be if Taysom Hill is the reason why I lose this week?
Oh man.
After last year, I blessed him to be on my squad, and then he went and taught for everybody else afterwards.
He's also playing against the Patriots too, so even more of
Hey,
a slap in the
you see the
face.
Patriots got J.C. Jackson back today? That was pretty cool. Just outside news. Got him
Yeah, I
from the
did see that.
Chargers, and literally the Chargers are paying all of his salary to play for the Patriots. I'm like, yee.
It's too bad that you guys didn't get anybody for your offense since it's still
It's
crapola.
true. Mac Jones, brother, we believe. All right, what's the
Yeah.
next one?
Next one we got pussy ass little bitch and Analingus Inc.
Yeah, weak name cleaner, weak name.
I
don't
know.
like
I
it.
get it
Yeah.
too, because Quinter was fucked up, and it was like his right before his birthday, so it's fine. But like, literally, that's the even in a blacked out state, I feel like you could come up with something. Just get a little spark of juice in there, a little blood pumped in your pud, or maybe all the
I'm
blood
go
was in his pud.
I'm going with the big man this week. The matchups are pretty
Ooh.
similar, but I think the reason why I like it is just the fact that I think that Gibbs. I think he teaches a little bit this week. Makes Cal eat his words. Just makes him feel like shit after getting rid of him. I think, but Anthony Richardson going against the Tennessee defense, I think he's going to do really well. So I just think that his Hogs are going to show out, and I don't know, like Trike's been hinging around on not that good scoring, so he's kind of like right around me, like loving the 80s, and I think
Yeah.
there's a strong possibility COD can go up into those 90s, and for some reason, Trike and I can't reach those. So
With it.
Perfect. Okay.
okay, cool guys.
All right. Next one.
All right, well,
Navy
I'm guessing I'm
SEALs.
going back to back.
Wow. Going for the upsets.
Okay, let's see real quick. Um,
What about that Sam Howell versus Josh Allen?
yeah. Does anybody play Denver on your team? Brees Hall does. That's a strong. Oh, man, that could be. I'm going to go with Jesse, but I might eat my words because I bet you Brees Hall goes for at least 2 tutties against the Broncos.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I can
Robert
see that
Saleh came
happening
out
too.
today and said that there's no more limitations. Let him
I,
ride.
sw- I swear if Cole Kmet goes off this week for Jesse, I'll fucking freak. I'll fucking freak. I'll
Who's he
freak.
playing? Who's Komet playing?
He's playing against Washington, which actually is a pretty good defense, but I'm like, man, if Cole Kmet really does this to me right now, I will just be the worst fantasy manager there ever was, tight end wise. All right, so
So you're
yeah,
giving it to Jesse.
I'm giving it with Jesse
Yes, it
though,
is.
but I do
Oh,
think Brees Hall shows out this week, and so maybe you might be able to trade him for a good price next week.
there you go. Something to look
Ooh,
forward to.
yeah, more trade away by players. That's great.
0-5 start. That's hot. Moving on. We got the Gas X Probiotics versus old Huffs Puffs.
Real quick, and I know
Yeah.
COD was talking about it, but yeah, he was like, "Can't wait for Wilson time." Yeah, that was stupid as that last week was so fucking stupid. I mean, David Montgomery coming out and putting that up on that Thursday night, and then for the rest of my team just completely shit the bed. But not only that, and I want Nut to go look this up, but I need to know what the record is for most TDs in the morning games just from their players. Brian had 11 TDs from just this morning, guys. What?
That's a lot.
Man, it was so fun watching that with you, and you're just like, dude, another one, another one. It was like a 2-minute time span, and he got 3 touchdowns.
We've been playing this game since 2011, and I've never had a Sunday like that before, where 4 TDs by 4 different players and literally in sequence, and then it happens again with 3 players in sequence. I'm like, okay, something's happening. Fuck that. So the Gas X probiotics versus the Huff Puffs. Man, what a good matchup this will be. Oh man, dude, Gobby's running that feeling out there. Man, Gallup. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the probiotics, man.
Yeah, I think I would too.
and no gas and those puffs. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, he's going to teach. Pacheco's actually been doing really well. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle against the damn G-Man. It really comes down to the feeling. Detroit actually has a low-key good defense this year. So, and then Gallup, too. Like, Cowboys don't really know how to throw the ball right now. Unless this is Jake Ferguson. So, yeah,
Fuck that. Fuck Jake Ferguson.
I'm going to go Sweet Baby J.
Alrighty, moving right along.
All right, this is yours.
Oh, I get a pick this week? Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's 7 matchups, and we can't go have an odd one. So,
all right, let me go pull her up. Ones and twos.
whoa, scrolling fast.
Yeah, this man's like on the fucking
All gas, no brakes, brother.
69s. And
all right, Lamar's Butternauts versus Trev's Throbbing Hogs. Veiny.
I like how you said 69, Dylan.
mm-hmm.
Is that on
Shows
purpose?
it's 47.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Definitely take Lamar against Pittsburgh over Trev against Buffalo. I would take D Swift over Ramondre as well. Take Kyron over James Cook. Stephon Diggs over Chris Olave. DJ, he's not going to do shit. I'm telling you. So Terry. I guess I take Mark Andrews, Saquon. Well,
What do you mean you guess you take Mark Andrews over Ferguson? You take Mark Andrews over Ferguson.
Dude, Ferguson gets fucking fed the ball by Dak.
Did you see what Mark Andrews did to me last week?
I did. And I don't think it's going to happen every single week.
Do you know Mark Andrews has diabetes?
Damn.
Yeah, he does.
Achane against the Giants is interesting. I guess I'm going Brian. It's gonna be really close though. I could see Trone getting lucky and taking it. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, the Kyron over Cook one too. I was kind of, I don't know, man. Kyron's going against that Philly run defense. I mean, I guess Brian Robinson was doing stuff against him last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe it's fine. There you go.
There you have it.
Well, again, another episode, another week of us talking either shit or sense. Take it how you want it. I hope I get a victory this week.
Yeah, let's all get a victory this week and feel better about ourselves.
Yeah, we need a dub.
Actually, no, that's not all hope. We have gotten our victories. We're manifesting it. It has happened. We have already won,
Dude,
and
we're
we
grounded.
are feeling better.
Yep. Got some new looks on the teams. So maybe a fresh look. You know, it's like when you get that fresh cut, you go to the barber and you come out and you're just like confidence is through the roof. You know,
Right.
It's like
you can't tell if there's any bald spots anymore or anything like that. It's like great.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't know. I hope to see a little more of actual. I would like to see like tighter matchups this week. The blowouts are, you know, it's fun if you're the one blowing somebody out, but
yeah, it's not fun. I FaceTimed you on Sunday. I was like, I'm done. After the morning games, I was like, my team, I lost 3 players. I was like, there's no point in watching anymore. I was like, I'm down by 30 already. I got 2 people to play, and Trone has like 6. I'm like,
oh yeah,
fuck it.
Dude, I was writing it off before even the morning games were over. I'm like, 11 touchdowns already? Like, what am I doing sitting here just rotting on the couch all day? Might as well get up and go do something at this point. I did catch the Cowboys shitting on the Patriots, though, so I did.
Yeah, that was a good game, dude. God,
yeah,
what a fucking
a
shit show.
little bit of fun that day. But
yeah, how do you think my day went? Fucking half my team got injured. My team shit the bed. Fucking Patriots get blown out. Like, we're benching our starting quarterback. I was like, this is a good Sunday.
And this is why we love fantasy. Yet, I think, you know, especially going 0-4, I've kind of gotten to the point. Gabi always talks about like how it's detrimental to my health and everything, which I do agree with. But it's kind of nice. I think I'm starting to finally find like this inner zen of just it's all good, whatever, you know. Like
Accept the
we're just kind
pain.
You get humbled. Like you feel humbled after you get shit
I'm
on like so
humbled.
much. You're like, you know what? It is what it is. Like that's how I felt. Like, and that's why I got on Gabi Talks yesterday. I was just like, you know what, man? I'm thinking positive this week. Like, it's not bringing me down. I can't get down on myself.
No, you
Now,
know
am I
there was
speaking
the.
shit or sense? I don't really know because I think I'm all fucked in the head right now. But
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm about to pull some incense on this shit like next week. Like I'm about to have like fucking some shit draped behind me, some incense going on. Have like a fucking bowl. Just
oh, dude, I feel like I'm having mood swings right now. Like I'm going through menopause or something. Because yesterday I was just feeling loose. I'm like, let's trade, man. I'm just ready to deal everything. Like it doesn't matter. And then I woke up today and I was like, I don't know if I actually want to trade anybody. I feel great. And then it's like, you know, probably this Sunday, man, I hate fantasy. My team
how do you feel,
sucks, dude.
Diz?
Well, like like existence last week was pretty fucking tough watching. It wasn't as bad as Dill's, but just touchdown, touchdown, Josh Jacobs touchdown. And then I get to watch Aiden O'Connell getting smoked by the Chargers.
Yeah, that's
And I
cool.
actually think that he did good. And I hope that they play him next week over Jimmy G.
What?
But
No, whoa. Dark Lord
yeah,
doesn't like O'Connell. Dark Lord
yeah, he
doesn't
did. He
like
came
him.
out and said he liked him.
Yeah, well, he likes it when he scores touchdowns, and Jimmy G gives him a lot of tutties.
Yeah, no, they'll probably play Jimmy G. But yeah, that was tough watching the
Yeah,
Raiders lose and my team getting shit on. So, but
cool.
you know, we got Raiders, Packers Monday night this week, and I'm already gonna have my fucking fantasy win by then, so I'm gonna be creaming.
Change your shorts.
Yeah, it's soaked.
Yeah, I I just don't even know at this point because I feel like whatever I touch just dies. I mean, just another update.
No,
Like,
you're fine, Dylan. You just started out with not very much money and you just did a bad draft. It's not like
no,
your
it's just
players are going
You're
down.
no.
just a bad. It's okay, Dill. You're just a bad player.
It's
I
not like
just
you're not losing players. You're not doing it.
read. Okay, remember I was telling you guys about that girl I went on a date with, gave her fantasy advice, cost her a week. Well, guess what? Hung out with her again, and she goes, "What do you think of this QB situation I have?" She has Brock Purdy in there starting, and on her bench is old Joe Cool himself. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, tell her, no, you need to put Joe Burrow in there. Dude's a stud. I know he's been shit in the bed, but you get him in there. Text me again on Sunday. I'm never listening to you about fantasy advice again. And she
What?
sends me a
No.
screenshot. In their league, Brock Purdy had 23.2 points. Joe with like 4 points something. That's like, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I
Cool.
sold my soul to the devil
I'm glad
for the
we're doing
championship.
this podcast then.
Yeah, I know, right?
We
Exactly.
I don't
keep
know what I'm
track of
talking
you.
about. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
give my advice. And I'm gonna
Everyone
spew
listen
some
to
shit out.
us.
That's why we appreciate our viewers because they stick with us through thick and thin. Good audience. We appreciate you, DVFFL.
True. Fucking thanks a lot, boys. Sayonara.
Yeah, literally. Keep subscribing to us. Hit the like buttons, okay? We need to keep the show going.
Yeah. We only
Yeah,
need
hit us up on
10,000 views to get there.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, another week in the books. Looking forward to this week. Let's get out there. Let's get some more trades going. Let's get some good matchups happening. You know, positive vibes. That's all we're about here at Wilson Time. In the studio, you know? That's what we do. All right, boys. Always a pleasure teaching. Don't get taught. And don't forget, boys, keep pounding that pud.
Yeah.